or since he was already over the age of 18. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers extended their winning streak to 9 games last night. Dodgers starter Bobby Miller and reliever Ryan Yarbrough combined to limit Milwaukee to just 2 hits. The Dodgers are 13-1 in the month of August. The NBA's new in-season tournament tips off November 10th. Las Vegas is hosting the championship game on December 7th. The NBA's 30 teams will be placed in 6 5-team groups. The Lakers and Clippers will be in separate groups. Players on the championship team will receive $500,000 each. $200,000 goes to each player on the runner-up team. Chargers cornerback J.C. Jackson is hoping to participate in Thursday's joint practices with New Orleans and Costa Mesa. Jackson is working his way back from a ruptured patella tendon that ended his season last year in Week 7 against Seattle. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As black folk, we know how to face tragedy and not fall into despair. And yet sometimes the points of pain are felt so acutely, especially when we know full well that we're being treated unfairly by our so-called justice system that at times appears to be anything but just. After more than 30 years of public service, Mark Willie Thomas is set to be sentenced on Monday, August 21st for his conviction on bribery and conspiracy in a federal corruption trial. As you well know, Willie Thomas was found not guilty on 12 of the 19 counts the feds brought against him. This is not your typical corruption case. No lavish trips, no victim, no cash in a brown bag or stashed away in a freezer, no illegal contributions from a wealthy donor, no money received by the accused, no use of taxpayer dollars. There is therefore no need to incarcerate Ridley Thomas to protect the community. Indeed, the probation department has recommended a mere 18-month sentence. But the feds, they want MRT to serve 6 years. 6 years. How is that fair? This happens far too often to defendants who just happen to look a lot like you and me. First, they target you. Then they overcharge you. Then they fight to keep certain folk off the jury. Then they spend millions of your tax dollars prosecuting a victimless $100,000 criminal allegation. Then, typically, they win, and why shouldn't they? In reality, no case of the United States government against you is really a fair trial, if you feel me. Then, after they win, they ask for a sentence of more than 3 times what the probation department is recommending. Again, I ask, how is that fair? I read the federal government's summary document regarding the sentencing of MRT, and the charged language they use is both revealing and despicable. You can clearly see their disdain for the constituent community, for the black clergy who have stood with MRT, and mostly for MRT, daring to exercise his constitutional right to even go to trial to defend himself. The feds demanding a 6-year sentence in this case is their way of punishing an uppity Negro who dared to fight back. Let's hope that the judge in this case sees through this racist masquerade and delivers a sentence of time commensurate with the crime, even as MRT appeals this verdict. There are no good times to be black in America, and sometimes are worse than others. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your comments.
I jump up on the stage and do my money dance. I throw some money up and watch the money land. I do my money dance. I do my some money up and watch the money land. I fell in love when I touched my first 100 grand. I fell in love when I touched my first 100 bands. And now we on the millions. I watch the money jump. I just send a bird.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I am so happy to welcome into the space an entrepreneur who checks a lot of the boxes, local business, small business, Black-owned business, woman-owned business, all the things that we aspire to, many of the things we aspire to focus on in Wealth Building Wednesday. She's got quite a background, graduating from Manual Arts High. We seem to be having an LA moment today. I love that. With a nursing assistant license, studying business management, but she recently completed a UCLA Management Development for Entrepreneurs program, all that in service of her current business. She's the owner of something called All That and More Boutique. Candance Pilgram-Simmons, welcome.
Thank you, Dominique. I'm so excited and honored to be here. Thank you, as well as Travis, for creating such an amazing platform to showcase what African-American women, men are doing in the community and how we serve. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. We love having you on and appreciate the partnership. Now, you had a whole career in business before you started your own. We could do an hour-long show about your journey. You worked at American Funds Distribution. You put in decades in that career. You worked your way up to Assistant Vice President of Shareholder Services. A lot of folks would stop there and just retire, but not you.
No, I like to say I started when I was 2. I was a greeter.
Yeah, same. I started when I was 2.5. Yes.
Yeah, it was a great journey. I stepped into corporate America right out of high school, and had a great mentor that just continued to open so many doors and opportunities for me. Carl Cutting was an excellent mentor. And then in 2008, 2009, when the stock market crashed with Countrywide and all those crazy things that were going on, they eliminated my position as well as other senior officers' positions because the company had $4 trillion under management, and that was cut in half. So they had to make some major changes, and one of the things that they did was to eliminate staff. And, it allowed me to break free and do what I always wanted to do, which I told my husband, can I do what I want to do? And he's like, what's that? I said, shopping. He's like, are you going to make money or spend money? I said, both.
It sounds like the voice of experience asking the questions. But, I love the way you frame that. It allowed me to break free, because so many times when we go into crisis, I remember, I call it the Bush crash of '08, right? The housing bubble and everything. That was like the Great Recession. That was a scary time for a lot of folks. But you characterize it as you breaking free.
Yes. Our parents from the South, they came to California for opportunities for us. And, I would always watch my dad and my mom, and they always talked about how important it is how you carry yourself and how you show up. So dressing was always a big thing in our house. It's like, we have to follow the basic rules, clean underwear, brush your teeth, dark shirts, pants, all of that. But, I would always sit and wonder, what would it be like to have your own business and have a clothing store? Because for me, watching my mom shop for uniforms right off of Vermont, and she'd come out of the dressing room twirling in excitement, and I'd say, I want to create that for folks every day. I want to have folks come out of the dressing room dancing, twirling, smiling, and leave happy. So I was like, that's a happy place. Shopping is a happy place.
It's so funny. I was thinking about that this morning for some reason. I was like, I need to do something fun. Let's go shopping. But all that and more is more than just a clothing store, right? It's a whole thing. It's a whole process.
Yes, it's an experience. I graduated high school in '85, and Nordstrom's was one of my first credit cards. And just the Nordstrom experience was just amazing. And I wanted to duplicate that. I wanted to give my clients a Beverly Hills Melrose shopping experience right here in LA, and just have folks leaving out of the door feeling better than how they felt when they walked in. And I also knew how hard it was for entrepreneurs to get their products in front of folks. So I said, if I can do that as well, create an opportunity for folks to launch their businesses from the space that God blessed me with, knowing that we're blessed to be a blessing, I was like, let's do that, and I'm blessed to create that every day.
So what does that mean, that Beverly Hills, Melrose? I can go in and, twirl? I mean, it sounds like you do more than just, have people walk in and look at clothes.
No, and that's one of the things that was the most challenging for me. While we're a brick and mortar in Culver City, and we also have an online store, but we really like to meet people where they are. So when you come in, you're just not coming in flipping through racks. We want to know where you're going, how do you want to feel when you enter the room, and, if you're presenting, are you going to be sitting down, are you going on your first date? So we really get involved and, take that entire experience with the client. So a lot of times when they come back, it was like, how was your date? How was your trip? How was Jamaica? Did your daughter, how was the wedding? So we really get involved.
So it's almost like a personal shopper, but in a boutique.
Yes, we give a celebrity styling experience to the everyday woman that wants to enter a room with confidence and great fashion.
And you guys are doing really well. I mean, Best in Culver City Award for Special Occasion Clothing. You won that repeatedly. And you got the Small Business of the Year Award for the 54th District in 2019 from Sydney Comlager Dub. She was an assembly member at the time. The Fashion Excellence Award from Dr. Cosette Foundation. I mean, you're racking up the awards. What else should we know? I mean, how do you do it? You said the celebrity stylist experience for the everyday woman, but what do we find in terms of the actual product that makes it so special?
So I'm also a buyer, and I curate special things. So I work with local designers, women-owned designers that create products and allow me to give creative input. My clients have come to experience, great fabric. They want things that are comfy, casual, classy, with an edge. So we've done some amazing things by working with designers in Turkey and Canada. And again, it's just really knowing that client and shopping 2 and 3 seasons ahead. The other thing that's unique about us is that we are not, our clients aren't fashionistas. They are morenistas. They're mature women that want to dress for their body type and their lifestyle. And so we're not following fashion trends. We're definitely in season, but we really allow our clients to really have a connection with their appearance, and they know the importance of how they show up and how people perceive them based on how they show up. In corporate America, that was one of the things I always could tell when we as women were going through something because of how we showed up, a little disheveled, a little frazzled, things of that nature. And so I really try my best with the staff that I've had to really say, let's meet women exactly where they are and let's have them feel better. And we don't do transactional business. We actually build a community, and we work with our clients from a community support perspective.
All right. So you guys are at 10754 Jefferson Boulevard in Culver City. Just followed you on Instagram. All That and More Boutique, just the N. All That and More Boutique. Did I say your name wrong? There's another N in there.
Yeah. It's Candance, like I can dance.
I can dance. Okay. Wow. That's beautiful. Love it. Well, congratulations to you. And tell us, I mean, obviously we can follow you, All That and More Boutique, and the link is always in the bio. But what about your online shopping experience for those not on IG?
So our online shopping experience, you can find us at www.allthatmoreboutique.com as well. So a lot of our signature products are out there. Our belts that are amazing. They're we get them in from Canada, so they're very unique. So, again, we provide a boutique experience where you're not going to see yourself coming and going unless you're shopping with us, because I think that's something as mature women, we also don't want to see ourselves coming and going unless you say, oh, you shop at All That and More. Okay, great. I didn't know that came in that color. You must have missed it.
Well, Candance Pilgram-Simmons, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I hope everyone will stop by, get something for themselves or a loved one in their life. 10754 Jefferson Boulevard in Culver City, or online at allthatandmoreboutique.com. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. It's a Wealth Building Wednesday around here. We're supporting one another, recycling those black dollars. It's also a great day to call me, 800-920-1580. Happy Hump Day from KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, you know. Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and, they're putting their money where their mouth is at, So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community. And, you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase and, give them, another look if I go to another institution. I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right. Chase is doing their part to help advance black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your dentist. Do me a favor and feel the front of your teeth. How grimy are they? Ugh. It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is the buildup of plaque bacteria that can cause cavities in just months. You need to switch to Crest Pro Health. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. So pick some up on the way home. Smile. Crest has you covered.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice, and injustice. The courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Ariva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Ariva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Right now, I was talking with the brothers from the Carpenters Union this morning, and it occurs to me how sometimes I am so focused, we are so focused on, understanding our objective conditions. What are the challenges we face? How do we fight white supremacy? All of these police killings and the challenges that we have with unhoused people and the challenges that we face in terms of jobs and racism and all of the hidden stories that are not being reported on the mainstream news, and what we need to do to make sure you know about these things, and giving honor and respect to those who have gone before, and all of these things. I think I never want to lose track of the fact that we need to celebrate our wins. In fact, we were on a call yesterday with some legendary activists in talking about Black August and the fight to free the prisoners that are still inside the system because of their participation in Black liberation struggles in this country. And they were reminding us we must celebrate our wins. And to me, those brothers and sisters who are part of these unions and are, despite the disappearance of the manufacturing base in big cities and places like South Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit, Oakland, which lead to this shrinking opportunity and the inflated housing, people are winning. One of the ways people are winning, one of the ways Black people are winning, anyone, right, who's coming out of the working class, the low-income poverty classes or whatever, wherever walk of life, is through unions, is through union organizing. It's why I always say, we have to stand in solidarity whether it's a hot labor summer or whether it's an opportunity like what those brothers are presenting. And I think it's important for us to remember that CNN and MSNBC are never going to put, Corey, Kyle, and Wesley, they're not going to put them on the news because they're thriving. That's not news. Y'all are raising families, making good, solid, middle-class wages, and you have health insurance. That's not a story. A story is when someone gets murdered or when a bunch of people run into a Nordstrom and run out with designer purses. And apparently that means that society has come to an end. Well, yeah, okay, it's not ideal. But when we talk about that, why are we not looking at the underlying conditions? That if more of us had those real solid family raising opportunities that give us dignity, that give us a living wage or better, that give us health care, then you won't see as much people, running into a fancy store and running out with a purse, or you won't see as many people living in tents on sidewalks. And so, it was a good reminder this morning, and I try to do it all the time. I have a section in my show prep, which is good news. What's good? And I always strive to share with you what's good, because there are so many things that are, even in this moment that we're in. I was talking with one of my esteemed elders. I won't say a name because I don't want to put her on blast. Yesterday, and she was saying, we're on the brink of fascism in our country. It's never been this bad with the rise of the MAGA movement, not just Trump, but the DeSantises and the Josh Hawleys and the Marjorie Taylor Greens, that we're really on the precipice as far as going into an authoritarian, totalitarian, full-on fascist governance. And a lot of us are aware of that and the rise of white supremacy. It's easy to say, oh my goodness, it's never been worse. But yet there are people thriving. Yet there are people progressing. Those brothers you heard, after doing significant time in prison, able to build a life and support a family and become a fulcrum for their community, to become a portal to allow other people in. And things like that are happening. They're happening every day in every city, in every state. And most of the progress and most of the victories we're seeing right now are happening on a city and state level, right? They're not happening in Washington, where we're witnessing 12 kinds of crazy. It's one of the reasons why I keep referring back to this. The fact that, and I'm not one of these people that says money is the only measure of success. Yeah, I get your silver rights, but civil rights are still important and justice is still important. That said, the fact that 26 of the 50 over 50 are black women on the Forbes list of achievers, that means something. It means people are finding a way to thrive. And it's something I want us to remember to focus on, because we must focus on our victories. We have to stay encouraged. And those victories are many. They're small and they're large. And they are things that can create a path, right? Create a pattern that allows us to find our own success, however we define that. As my friend Ambassador Shabazz always says, success is how we define it. It's not a certain car. It's not a certain house. It's not a certain title. It's how we personally define it for ourselves, for our families, and for our communities. It's a great day to call me. How are you defining your success? 800-920-1580. KBLA, Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In New York City, African-American Mayor Eric Adams is expected to sign legislation that makes new rules for outdoor dining permanent. That includes allowing restaurants to get a license for roadway sheds. However, they will become seasonal and only be allowed to operate April through November. Sidewalk seating can remain year-round. Critics of outdoor dining complain about noise, fewer parking spots, and sanitation-related issues. The United Auto Workers are pressing for a strike vote against Detroit, Michigan's big three automakers. Union President Shawn Fain said Tuesday that the union is seeking over 40% pay raises over 4 years and other benefits. Nearly 146,000 union member contracts with General Motors and Ford are set to expire on September 14th. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, we're Companion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent. Local agent. Local agent.
Find us at compareoninsurance.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers extended their winning streak to 9 games last night. Dodgers starter Bobby Miller and reliever Ryan Yarbrough combined to limit Milwaukee to just 2 hits. The Dodgers are 13-1 in the month of August. The NBA's new in-season tournament tips off November 10th. Las Vegas is hosting the championship game on December 7th. The NBA's 30 teams will be placed in 6 5-team groups. The Lakers and Clippers will be in separate groups. Players on the championship team will receive $500,000 each. $200,000 goes to each player on the runner-up team. Chargers cornerback J.C. Jackson is hoping to participate in Thursday's joint practices with New Orleans and Costa Mesa. Jackson is working his way back from a ruptured patella tendon that ended his season last year in Week 7 against Seattle. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? You might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event, or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for the Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job paid training, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus are now even putting their money in your pocket with a one-time $2,500 sign-on bonus. Let us connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in your community, then we invite you to join the team. Start your journey by submitting an application at culvercity.org/job. For more information, visit culvercitybus.com or call the live customer service operator at 310-253-6500. Again, 350-253-6500.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, I'm kind of on some what's good this morning. So let's have some what's good. What's good in your life? What's good in your community? What's good in your state, in your city, even in your country? KBLA is good in your country. We're here, in the middle of this push towards fascism and white supremacy. Up springs the West Coast's first ever Black-owned talk radio station where we're free to express ourselves as we see fit. We are amazing. Black people are amazing. Progressives are amazing. We don't give up. Y'all just, I remember my father, the late Amiri Baraka, used to talk about that Sisyphus syndrome, where we roll the boulder up the hill and then they roll it back down on us. But the fact is, every time we go a little further, we don't give up. And I want us to remember that. And so let's make this Celebrating Victories Day. I was talking about the over half of women, people on the Forbes 50 Over 50 people. These are all the people, men, women, people over 50 years old who are considered to be exemplary successes by Forbes, which is one of the world's most renowned business publications. One of those women is Tracy D. Halls, the first black woman to lead the American Library Association. And she, as the executive director, now we're going to be talking to the director of LA Libraries, but this is urgent work. And part of the drive to unite against book bans is one of the things that she helped to put in place. And there's also another piece, urgent piece of that work, which is about literacy, right? Because when you talk about the school to prison pipeline, people's inability to read is one of the primary indicators that they might end up in that pipeline. These are things you don't hear about every day, but things that are successes. Just something, that you might not know about. I told you guys before, I love Patti LaBelle. She's a Gemini. She's a wild Gemini like me, a wild performer. But did you know that Patty's Good Life products earned $85 million last year? Did you know that? I didn't know that. Did you know that Dion McAfee is the founder and CEO of something called Culture Greetings? This is a greeting card company that caters to BIPOC people, to black people, so that you can customize a card also. And she's gone nationwide in these drugstores. And on it goes. The vice president and CEO, chief operating officer, treasurer of the Ford Foundation, is a woman named Depelsha McGruder. Is also the founder of something called Moms of Black Boys United, MOBB. And it is another organization that focuses on ending police brutality against African American men and boys. It was a Facebook group. It grew into a non-profit organization, MOBB United for Social Change, or actually sister organizations. All these kinds of things that are going on that we don't hear about, and I think I'm going to make it my business to make sure we do hear about them. I hear from not just my family member that I was talking to on yesterday, but many of my friends, men and women, especially. I have a lot of friends that are teens and 20-somethings, and then I have a lot of friends that are senior citizens, right? It's always been that way for some reason, because I'm very immature and very mature at the same time. But anyway, it's interesting that those are the groups that seem to be the most discouraged, right? A lot of the young people, teenagers and 20-somethings that I talk to are concerned about the end of the world, which I don't blame them, the climate emergency. Are we leaving them a livable planet? And then I talk to the elders and it's like, oh, we're going to hell in a handbasket. It's the Trump generation. It's what happened on January 6th. And a lot of people, and I don't blame them, and I've heard Tavis Smiley say this on his show, do not believe, no matter how many indictments the former president has, that he will ever spend time in jail or ever see significant consequences. I have this theory, right? We're on the fourth indictment of Trump. The fourth criminal indictment. He also has civil cases pending, and I believe more to come. And yet his popularity continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. I believe at some point it will hollow out and fall. And I know that nobody thinks that, and I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. I never thought he'd be elected in the first place. But I feel like at some point the steady drip, 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 which has turned into more of a fire hose of criminal allegations with proof, especially when you start to see the televised proof of these claims, because the Georgia trial will be televised. Think about what happened when the January 6th Select Committee really laid out the case of what the former president did, right? They laid it out with video, with witness testimony, with documents, and they did it in a very television-friendly way so we could understand what happened. And even for someone like me who follows the news, it was eye-opening, because the more we learn about this, the more we learn this was actually a real live conspiracy, as Fonnie Willis skillfully lays out in that indictment. Well, I believe that at some point the bottom starts to fall out. At some point we're going to see a drop. I think we'll see sort of a sudden, apparently sudden drop. And there was an article in the Washington Post, I think it was yesterday or the day before, saying no one's changing their minds about Trump. If you hate him, you still hate him. If you're a MAGA loyalist, you're still a MAGA loyalist. So what do we do? Because our country is polarized and it's never going to come together. But think about the way public opinion swings in this country. 1 minute everybody's marching for Black Lives Matter, and the next minute they're saying, you know, the support is down. Well, it doesn't mean that the support is down in terms of people's understanding of what happened, but people are trendy. I remember after 9/11, you know, and I was on the radio then, and everyone suddenly became a lot of people became anti-Muslim. A lot of people became pro-war. They started supporting George W. Bush. It's one of the reasons why I was taken off the radio at that time, because I'm not going to flip on you. You know me. I'm going to tell you what it is, whether you want to hear it or not want to hear it, if I believe that's the truth. And I think that's why people, even people that don't like me, still often listen, because you know I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it. And I believe that this trendiness that we have as a nation is going to catch up with the former president eventually. And I think one of the reasons is Georgia, because we will see the televised evidence. That's a kind of good news. It's not happened yet. And like I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think the Teflon will start to wear down. And in the meantime, we're going to focus on the things that are working, the things that you might not hear as much about that are working. And I'm going to make that my job to do so. Stories that are encouraging, things that are happening that get us inspired to get up and do something, whether it's in honor of Black August or whether it's in honor of Tuesday, or should I say Wednesday. There's a man in Boston who was attacked by white supremacists. Physically attacked, not just, emotionally attacked, physically attacked by white supremacists. And now he's moving to bankrupt them. That's what I'm talking about. When we fight, we win. I'll explain when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 is inviting you to join us on Saturday, September 16th, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for our very first economic empowerment event for the community. This event is free and is powered by Caltrans. We're doing this in association with Rambo House, and here's Rambo to tell you more.
Contracts. I'm going to say it again for all of us small business owners out there. Contracts. Rambo House, KBLA, Tavis, me. Oh my God, this is going to be massive. I truly thank Caltrans for giving us the opportunity to focus on contracts. Listen, that's what it's all about to be a small business in LA. That's how we hire our own. That's how we expand our community is contracts. KBLA1580.com is for you to have a seat at our contracts-focused event. Contract Ready does it again. We had over 900 last time. So you guys know how exciting this is. And if you just think that you want to get into contracts and you're close to it, bring your friends out for September 16th at the Marriott Hotel. Listen, you know where to register. KBLA1580.com. Come see me. I can't wait to see you. Let's do it, Tavis.
So be sure to go to KBLA1580.com for all the details. We'll see you Saturday, September 16th.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Dominique DePrima, KBLA Talk 1580. Hey, did you know that you can buy a home without making a 20% down payment? That's right. Having a large down payment actually does come with advantages like no mortgage insurance, lower monthly payments, and things like that. But there are lots of different types of loans that could be a fit for your situation. Some of them involve little or no down payment. Whatever your financial goals are, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
So this man, this is in Boston, not noted for their progressive racial attitudes. But anyway, no shade. He went to the library, like around the area of the library, not inside, to play his saxophone, and he was attacked by this group called the Patriot Front. They're one of these white supremacist groups that try to take patriotism and make it synonymous with racism. But anyway, they attacked this guy. They beat him down. I mean, he was surrounded by a bunch of white guys. He actually was taken away in an ambulance, needed stitches, multiple lacerations to his face, body. No charges have been filed. No arrests have been made. They say there's an investigation underway. But this guy, instead of getting sad and depressed and feeling angry, he decided, and this guy's a teacher, by the way. He's a musician. He's also a teacher. His name is Charles Morrell III. Instead of crying or feeling discouraged, he decided to sue the Patriot Front. And this happened last year, but he's filed his lawsuit on Tuesday. His goal is to bankrupt the group. This is taking a page from some of the anti-racist groups, particularly I know the Southern Poverty Law Center has done this with some of these Deep South racist organizations where they sue them and try to strip them of every penny that they have so that they can curtail their operations as a white supremacist organization. He's suing not only for his physical injuries, but severe anxiety, mental anguish, invasive thoughts and emotional distress, persistent concern for physical safety, loss of sleep. The defendants are the actual group, the Patriot Front, and the founder, Thomas Rousseau, plus all of the John Does that jumped him. So rather than waiting for this slow-walking investigation, this man, Thomas Morrell III, is taking matters into his own hands. And he wants to not only get, money and justice for himself, he wants to bankrupt this organization so he can set them back a year, 2 years, 10 years, or maybe send them into oblivion. Jason Lee Van Dyke is his attorney. And no, excuse me, that's the attorney for the Patriot Front. And he says that, he is lying, meaning Charles Morrell III, that none of this happened. Well, apparently there's footage. And, whenever this kind of stuff happens, there's always more footage than we think. They're trying to say he was the attacker. When does one guy with a saxophone attack a large group of white supremacists? That doesn't even make sense. But I love the fact that this man is fighting back and that he is fighting back in court. This group, the Patriot Front, by the way, this is a group, one of the things that they do, one of their missions, is to train their members to attack black people. I mean, that's what they do. They teach them to commit violent acts against black people. Cut to the chase, bald-faced white supremacy. So I hope, like people that have used this formula before him successfully, that he drains them of every penny and they have to either disband or get set back. Yeah. Set back as far back as humanly possible, because white supremacy needs to be fought on every front, in our mentality, in our courts, in our schools, in our Congress, which is chock full of them jokers right now. We have to fight back, and every person, every lawsuit, every vote, every conversation is part of how we win. I'm Dominique DePrima. This is KBLA Talk 1580. When we fight, we win.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Dominique DePrima, and I'd like to introduce you to my friends at Wealth Management Financial Advisors. Let Marie and her team help you get up to date on your business and personal taxes so you could be eligible for grants, loans, and special programs. Let Wealth Management Financial Advisors help you refinance, modify, or find solutions for a sustainable home mortgage. They can restore your credit, too. Let them get you on budget and on point with smart money rules so you can retire comfortably, buy that home you want, or customize an investment strategy to build generational wealth. Wealth Management Financial Advisors offers a wide range of consulting services to serve a variety of businesses and clients. Whether you're a local small business or a multinational corporation, they can help you reach new levels of success. Find out more at wealthmanagementlb.com or give them a call at 562-427-8877. That's 562-427-8877 or visit wealthmanagementlb.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
Yeah, a story that I meant to share with you, speaking of what's good, I am so, so happy for Simone Biles. Not only did she marry a tall, handsome guy that she appears to be quite well in love with and appears to be quite well in love with her, she's back in gymnastics, and she is winning. Speaking of black people winning. Now, think back to the Olympics, Tokyo Olympics, all the scandal and all the criticism of her because she pulled out in consideration and protection of her own mental health. And people were saying that she quit on America. Some people, a lot of folks were also saying that she was a role model for self-care, right? Not self-care as some hashtag that we espouse but don't actually live, but on the highest level. I mean, to get to the Olympics and realize that the anxiety, the depression, the pressure is life-threatening for you, that you could actually do a flip and break your neck because you're not in a good mental place, and then have the courage to pull out instead of going ahead and breaking your neck. I think that was very instructional for all of us. And now she just did her first competition since 2021. And she took first place. That's amazing. After time off, the gymnastics, you don't have a huge window, for a career. She said she's been working on herself, and this competition qualifies for the U.S. National Championships. She said she's been working on herself. She spent time working through what she needed to work through emotionally. And remember, they had to go through that whole drama with the horrible pedophile doctor, right, who's now in jail. She testified in that. She went through the trauma of that and the Olympics and got herself back in shape and wins the first place in the Core Hydration Classic, instantly qualifying for the U.S. Championship. She's a 7-time Olympic medalist, and she's now a married woman. And she said, which I thought was so inspiring for me, that as soon as she walked away from the Olympics in Tokyo, as soon as she gave herself that grace, she realized that she was going to come back. Obviously, she didn't announce it. That was not her focus. She needed to do what she needed to do to be ready. But she said she knew as soon as she walked away for her mental health that she was going to come back. And she said this victory, even though it's a small competition that leads to the next big competition, that it meant everything to her because of what she went through in Tokyo, because she prioritized her own mental health, and because despite all the blah, blah, blah from some of these sports commentators, the fans stood by her. The fans checked those sports commentators, if you remember, because I was one of those fans, and we said no. No, just like Naomi Osaka, be brave, prioritize your own mental health, your wellness, and then thrive. And she's showing us that. It is a template for self-care and success. They're not at odds. We're talking books. We're talking the war on books. We're talking all the beautiful things happening at the library. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In New York City, after allowing restaurants to get a license for roadway sheds. However, they will become seasonal